As New Yorkers, one of the most important and unfortunately rare qualities we look for in a living space is fresh air. Proper oxygen intake is something that's hard to come by even for a pro athlete in the big city, and the rest of us have little hope of not getting winded walking up a flight of stairs. So you can imagine I feel kind of f***ed up watching demon slayers bend the elements to their will with just a little bit of breath control. So I'm finally back, and at risk of feeling severely inadequate, I'll be talking about all the breathing styles and blood demon arts we've seen in the first and hopefully not last season of Demon Slayer. Okay, first, some simple background. Members of the Demon Slayer Corps have all trained themselves to respirate in a particular rhythm, allowing them to weaponize their breath in the form of swordsmanship techniques known as breath styles, which allow them to hunt demons. There are 5 basic styles rooted in the elements: breath of water, flames, wind, thunder, and stone, all 5 of which are born from the first breath style, breath of the sun. More advanced users can evolve these styles into techniques more personal to them, which I'll cover later because it's dope. I'm sure you all remember back in the day, Bruce Lee famously said a fighter should be like water. It can take the form of any container and flows gently, but when necessary, it can crash with incredible force. Well, only 5 people took that advice and became practitioners of our first breath style, and those are our water users, Tanjiro, Giyu, Sabito, and Makomo, all of whom were trained by the perpetually masked Sakonji Urokodaki. Breath of water consists of 11 substyles with a slight caveat. The first of those is water surface slice, in which the user creates momentum and slashes an enemy with a single powerful strike, like that. It's honestly a very normal attack, but wet, so it's cool. The second style, water wheel, occurs when the user leaps into the air, spinning in a flowing circular motion, slicing everything in its course. Also, it's wet. Using the third style, dance with the rapid current, a user swings his blade in a way that mirrors the motion of waves on a beach. In the fourth style, striking tide, the user can strike multiple times, twisting his body with the force of a much heavier tide. The fifth style, merciful rain of a dry day, is quite literally a mercy killing, disintegrating opponents with minimal pain. It's the fifth because demon slayers kill first and ask questions fifth. The sixth style is called Twisting Whirlpool. Once again, the user twists his body, creating a whirlpool that slices anything that gets swept up in its path. You know, I'm starting to sense a pattern here. I feel like there's a lot of twisting. I think I would argue the Breath of Water has like maybe 8 or 9 styles. But maybe I'm nitpicking, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. The seventh style, Piercing Raindrop, is a water breath user's fastest technique. It's a stab. Just a stab. The eighth style, Waterfall Basin, is when a user slices vertically, creating deadly waterfalls as seen in Tanjiro's battle with the pedophile Swamp Demon. He's a pedophile. Watch the show. Ninth style, Water Splash, is helpful when there's no stable footing and allows the user to move comfortably on shifting ground, which was particularly useful in Tanjiro's fight against the drum demon Kyogai, which I'll get into later. The 10th and technically final style in Urokodaki's Breath of Water handbook is called the Dragon of Change, wherein the user strikes continuously with each swing, increasing in power until the attack reaches maximum strength and ends with a single devastating blow. The 11th and actually final style comes with an asterisk because it was created by Urokodaki's successor, Giyu Tomioka. The 11th style, Lull, allows Giyu to stand perfectly still and nullify any incoming attacks, although it is possible to break through with speed and persistence, much like my inbox on Instagram. Okay, so that's every Breath of Water technique that we've seen so far. Now on to Breath of Fire. Giyu isn't the only student of Urokodaki to hone his techniques outside of class. Tanjiro's Dance of the Fire God is a technique that's been passed down in the Kamado family for generations that he learned before he even knew what a breath style was. Tanjiro learned it as a New Year's ritual dance from his father, who learned it 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 from his father's father. You guys get it. Dance of the Fire God offers movements to the sun god to protect his friends and family from disease that year, which is cool and all, but even cooler when used for violence. Tanjiro uses a variation called Waltz, a single powerful slash that he uses to defeat Rui in their battle on Natagumo Mountain. It's also our first brief glimpse at Nezuko's blood demon art and the best moment in an anime. Fuck you, I don't care. Seeing them work together multiplied my faith in this series by 1,000. Shut up. Breath of Thunder now. This style focuses on creating quick, high-powered blows, and it looks cool as but the 3 Breath of Thunder users we've met seem less than suited for it. There's Tanjiro's travel buddy Zenitsu, Zenitsu's teacher Jigoro Kojima, and his other student Kaigaku, the kid from the flashback who threw a rock at Zenitsu after he called Jigoro Gramps. I feel like maybe Zenitsu should show him a little more respect, considering Jigoro is a former hashira and the only known teacher of the Breath of Thunder style, and considering Zenitsu could only learn one Breath of Thunder technique, which he so far can only use effectively in his sleep, but maybe I'm just a stickler for being good. That technique, by the way, is called Breath of Thunder First Style, Thunderclap and Slash. It's a simple but powerful attack, a lightning-fast dash and slash that Zenitsu later developed into Thunderclap and Slash sixfold while fighting the Spider Demon. If you were wondering, it's the same thing, except he dashes 6 times. So you could call it Thunderclaps and Slash. Rounding out Tanjiro's travel companions is Best Boar Inosuke. His personal breath style, Breath of the Beast, comes from the basic Breath of the Wind style and sounds suspiciously similar to Breath of the Wild. Developed by Inosuke himself, Breath of the Beast is aided by Inosuke's enhanced sense of touch and is grounded in aggressive and animalistic attacks called fangs rather than styles, because Inosuke is a metaphor for toxic masculinity. So far, we've seen 3 of 7 Breath of the Beast techniques. First up is First Fang, Pierce and Extract. Using his blades, Inosuke pierces his target's skin and then extracts the blade. He stabs them. He stabs. Third Fang, Rip and Devour, is a little more involved. For this technique, Inosuke slashes a target's neck with simultaneous horizontal slashes. It's fucked up. Inosuke's final move is called Seventh Fang Spatial Awareness, a sensory technique that allows Inosuke to feel disturbances in the air currents and find enemies, and which he used on Nadagumo Mountain to detect every single enemy on the summit. We only get a glimpse of them, but the hashira, or pillars, are the Demon Slayer Corps' top swordsmen, and aside from Giyu, Rengoku, Gyome, and the Scarface Sanemi, every pillar uses a personalized breath. And just a side note, if I ever see Sanemi out in these streets, I will fuck him up, I swear to God.
Stop! No! I might be small, but I can stop you.
My bad. We haven't seen most of them in action, but let's go through what we know about the hashira. Mitsuri Kanroji uses Breath of Love style, which is an offshoot of Breath of Flames that sounds like a VH1 reality show where 10 women compete for the affection of a tin of Altoids. Thanks to her unique body, Mitsuri is the only one who can use the style, and by unique, I mean her muscles are 8 times their normal density, so Breath of Love is actually born from a love of violence, which is cool. Then there's the aimless Muichiro Tokito, who is a master of Breath of the Breath of the Mist, which stems from Breath of the Wind. Then there is the flamboyant, apparently polygamist, Tengen Uzui, whose Breath of Sound is an offshoot of the Breath of Thunder. He uses that along with his superhuman hearing to deconstruct his enemy movements into sound, basically using echolocation. He's like Daredevil, but imagine if Daredevil could see. Up next, there's Obanai Iguro, who uses Breath of the Serpent, an offshoot of Breath of the Water, focused on imitating the way a snake slithers. The last hashira is the bug queen herself, Shinobu Kocho. She's a master of Breath of the Insect, which is actually a 3rd generation breath that comes from Breath of the Flower, which itself comes from Breath of the Water. Other than Giyu, she's the only pillar we've seen in action, except for when that little punk Shinagawa pulled his sword on Nezuko.
I said stop!
Bro, okay. I hate you. I hate you, son of me. We only see Kocho fight one spider demon before confronting Tanjiro and Nezuko, but we learn a few things about her style in just that short bit of action. She uses an attack called Dance with the Butterflies, Caprice, to sting her opponent multiple times with the tip of her blade, injecting a lethal poison into their bloodstream, a technique designed to compensate for her lack of upper body strength, which makes it difficult for her to decapitate demons. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, but I would do it to Sanemi myself. So, there's a bunch of ways to slay a demon, and I'm sure we'll be doing a follow-up, but for now, let's shift gears and look at how demons fight back with their blood demon arts. The key differences between breath styles and blood demon arts are 1, that only high-level demons can use them, which is why it's so exciting to get a first look at Nezuko's bloodburst in tandem with Tanjiro's Dance of the Fire God, but also, every art is specific to the demon using it, so they can't be replicated, which means endless videos for me. A blood demon art also has no specific limitations, so it can mean anything from conjuring Tamari balls at will to accessing alternate dimensions, which opens the door even wider for endless videos from me. The first true blood demon art we see belongs to, even worse, Jeffrey Dahmer, Swamp Demon. We never learn his real name, but I think Swamp Demon pretty much sums it up. and he actually has 2 blood demon arts. First, he can split himself into 3 distinct bodies, each with a different number of horns, ranked in order by the degree of their illegal desires. Secondly, he can create a puddle-sized portal in the human world, which leads to his own personal swamp dimension, where he hid away all of his stolen little girls that he ate. He ate girls. He's a pedophile. Next up is the good Dr. Tamayo, whose first blood demon art, Aroma of Visual Fantasy, allows her to manipulate the scent of her drawn blood to cause hallucinations of flowers, impairing her enemy's vision, while her second ability, Mystical Fragrance of the White Day, impairs the victim's cognitive function and effectively acts as a truth serum. Then there's Tamayo's protege, Yushiro, whose blood demon art, Blindfold, allows him to mask the presence of any object, including Tamayo's entire clinic, but also to reveal hidden objects like our next demon, Yahaba's Koketsu arrows, formed from special eyes on his hands, like the dude from Real Monsters. He uses those arrows to aid his partner Susamaru by guiding the super dense Temari balls she summons with her blood demon art, Hyasobi Temari. Next, there's the drum demon Kyogai, a former 12 Kizuki who's able to manipulate the space inside Suzumi Mansion by hitting his drums, or Tsuzumi. His body is basically the controller from Donkey Kong Jungle Beat. Video coming soon on the leaderboard.
What?
Can we not do that? With his demon art, Kyogai can release a claw attack by striking his abdominal drum and rotate the house left and right by tapping his left and right drums respectively. And of course, the drum on Kyogai's back lets him teleport anywhere in his house, because why wouldn't he be just overpowered and fucked up? Why not? Next, there's the spider family. Rui is the only one with an actual name, so I'll just refer to them by their familial roles, starting with the older brother, who can spit 2 types of venom. One that turns people into gross human spider hybrids after 30 minutes, and another that just melts the shit out of you. Mother commands an army of spiders and can control human bodies like marionettes using her threads, which is just a nightmare. Older sister can wrap you in a cocoon that dissolves you for easy consumption. Correction, that is a nightmare. Father's blood demon art is very simple. He can shed his skin to transform into a stronger version of himself, which I feel like if I could, I would do that with my emotions. Stop the video, man. And I'm back. Finally, there's Rui himself, one of the weaker of the 12 Kizuki and one of the few demons given the ability to transfer his power through his demon blood by Kibutsuji Muzan. He's basically an evil Spider-Man with webs at least as strong as a Nichiren blade, which Tanjiro had to find out the hard way. He also has 3 distinct blood arts. Number 1, Cruel String Prison, a web that wraps around and slices his opponent to pieces. Cage of Murdering Eyes, basically the same thing but bigger and slower. And finally, Wheel of Chopping Thread, which is exactly what it sounds like. What more do you want from me? Of course, I've already mentioned Nezuko's blood demon art, the greatest moment so far in all of anime. Fight me, f you, I don't care. She uses her blood burst to ignite her blood and increase the temperature of the flames produced by Tanjiro's Dance of the Sun God, turning his blade from black to crimson red and giving him enough power to slice Rui up like a mother-f***ing grapefruit. Except Rui's fine and he actually gets killed by an unbothered Giyu Tomioka. But alas, that's every ability we've seen from the first season of Demon Slayer. Stay tuned, because there will absolutely be more, unless the producers want angry letters from me personally. And if you can't wait for more Get in the Robot videos or other content from me, then subscribe to the channel and follow me on Instagram. I'm Yedoye Travis, we're Get in the Robot, anime explained. Bye.